Dinner had started like any other. We were at that quiet Italian place she liked, the one with soft lighting and white tablecloths, the one where I had hoped to salvage a semblance of normalcy after the tension of the week. I had even gone out of my way to dress nicely, to be attentive, to laugh at her jokes, because I thought maybe tonight could be simple, ordinary, and, dare I hope, even pleasant. We sat across from each other, menus forgotten, wine glasses half full, when she leaned forward and said it. "I honestly don't know why you even try to impress me anymore." The words weren't loud, but they landed with the force of a hammer. Every head in the restaurant still busy with conversation, every waiter passing by, faded into the background. There was only that one line, cruelly casual, dropping between us like a guillotine. For a moment, I couldn't respond. My fork hovered above my plate, trembling slightly in my hand. I wanted to ask if she was joking. I wanted to beg for clarification. I wanted to yell. I wanted to cry. But none of that came. Instead, I felt clarity, a cold, sharp, undeniable clarity. She leaned back, expecting a reaction, perhaps a snarl, perhaps tears, perhaps a fit of rage. Instead, I did something she couldn't anticipate. I stood up, slowly, deliberately, without a single word. She blinked, confusion flashing across her face. "Wait, what?" I didn't answer. I turned my back, sliding my chair out quietly, and walked toward the exit. The soft murmur of the restaurant swallowed me, but the clarity stayed. No pleading, no begging, no confrontation would reclaim the dignity she had dismissed with one cruel sentence. Her voice followed me, shaky now. "Are you serious? You're leaving? Here?" I didn't stop. I didn't glance back. For 17 years, I had poured myself into this marriage, into her, into what I thought was a shared life. And in a single line, she had reminded me that the person I trusted, the person I loved, no longer respected me, or even cared enough to hide her disdain. Outside, the cool night air hit me like a bomb. The tension, the humiliation, the creeping anger I had carried for months dissolved into a steady resolve. She had made her choice. I was making mine. I didn't call her. I didn't text her. I didn't explain myself. The words she had spoken at that table explained everything I needed to know about who she had become and who I had to be. In the weeks that followed, I quietly separated myself. I focused on rebuilding the life she had tarnished with lies, petty cruelty, and betrayal. I organized my finances, sought counsel from friends I trusted, and reclaimed small pieces of my dignity she had taken for granted. Months later, when the dust had settled, I realized that night at the restaurant had been a turning point. Not because it was dramatic or loud, but because it crystallized everything I had suspected, but hadn't allowed myself to confront. Her words, spoken so casually, were the final proof I needed. Betrayal, I learned, doesn't always arrive as an explosion. Sometimes it's a single line, a casual jab, a small phrase delivered with indifference. And sometimes the most powerful response is silence, calm, and the deliberate choice to walk away. She eventually called, left messages, even tried to apologize. But I didn't answer. There was nothing she could say that would change the fact that the marriage we had built together had already ended long before that dinner. And my life, finally, was too precious to allow her cruelty any space in it. Looking back, I realized the power of that night wasn't in the words she spoke, but in my reaction. Or rather, my lack of reaction. I didn't give her the satisfaction of a fight. I didn't give her the thrill of knowing she had hurt me deeply. I simply stood, walked away, and never looked back. That single line she spoke at dinner told me everything I needed to know. And my silence, my deliberate exit, told her everything she needed to know about me. I was no longer a man willing to be diminished, belittled, or disrespected. I was a man who had learned that dignity and self-respect are priceless, and that no marriage, no relationship, no love is worth giving them up for someone who doesn't value them. Sometimes, the most decisive moments in life aren't loud confrontations or dramatic showdowns. Sometimes, they're quiet. Sometimes, they're calm. And sometimes, they're as simple as standing up, walking out, and reclaiming the life that was always yours to protect.